Hello everyone and welcome to another KrebsCOHO Cast World of Tanks episode. This time around what we're going to be doing is a fan submitted replay of himself playing the white camouflaged Churchill tank, as you guys can see. It's also going to be playing on the brand new map Dragon Ridge. As you guys can see, this is the matchup as the players are going to be having today. The Churchill being the top of the tier for his team. The player also going by the name of Hypnotics. So well done to Hypnotics for getting his replay submitted and getting a cast for it. I know a lot of you guys have actually been sending in your casts, and sorry, I've been a bit busy. I can't actually do all of them. Especially since the latest patch came out. It actually means that I can't do replays from the old patch. I actually tried, it just does not work. It breaks. The system just simply breaks. Everything has failed. So I'm sorry guys. Just send in your replays to KrebsCOHO@hotmail.co.uk and hopefully I'll get around to spamming some more replays of your guys, okay? So anyway, we're gonna be following this guy in his Churchill, the Hypnotics. I don't know, it sounds really familiar. Just before we get started, I want to see if there's any funny names in the leaderboards on his team and also the enemy team. As you guys can see, also his team is getting really screwed over at the moment. In fact, down 5 tanks. So let's take a look at some funny names, if there's actually any. We've got Yang Kang, who's dead on his team. We've also got Verbally Speaking. That sounds okay. That's okay. Nothing really unique. Storm Raven on the enemy team, and we've got Toaster with a Gun as the AMX-40. How appropriate, Toaster with a gun. I suppose now that I think about it, the AMX-40 is probably like a toaster, isn't it? So here we go. The French people like making toasters and they like putting guns on them. But anyway, so we've got the Churchill with the inappropriately used white camouflage over here. I'm not too sure how this actually works in this game. I mean, you know, in World of Tanks, I think camouflage should have an effect, like just in terms of being hard to be spotted, for example. Obviously, it doesn't really make sense if you had a white camouflage, because then nobody would buy a camouflage, for example, because, you know, they would probably get stuffed on most of the maps, right? But they were thinking about, in wargaming, they were actually thinking about implementing an adaptive camouflage. So you just buy one camouflage and it would change from every single map that you go onto, and it would correspond to that map, that environment. And I think that's appropriate. I think that could work, but I also think that these camouflages should actually, well, provide camouflage. Simple as. Like the camouflage net, I think it actually should have some sort of, I don't know, animation on the tank. A real object on the tank that sort of shows you your camouflage net, but they should also have this this camouflage, like the white camouflage on this Churchill, that has an effect. I think that could work, and if you could also buy these camouflage with credits, then it wouldn't really be pay to win as well, so it could work. I could see that happening, so I don't see why they don't implement something like that. But anyway, let's focus on what he's actually been doing at the moment. So he's got 1 kill. Now notice this Dragon Ridge. I actually want to talk about this map a little bit specifically. What do you guys think about it? How do you feel about this map? You know what? I think it's a really cool map. I think it has a lot of potential. However, they screwed up the spawn points, okay? Reason is because if you look at the mini-map, so is there a way that I can expand this? God, I don't know, maybe you can. But the spawn points, in my opinion, are really duffed up. For example, you got one team that spawns at A8 and A0, whilst the enemy team spawns at J9 and something like that, right? So it's just on the opposite ends of the map, however not in opposite corners, if that makes sense. What I think would make a lot more sense is if one team was on the opposite side of the map in the opposite corner, okay? So the other team being in H1, for example, and then they would have to cross each other's paths and they could go multiple directions. I think that makes a lot more sense, because otherwise half the map seems like it's sort of pointless even going that direction. I mean, what's the point of going on the very far end of the map in the 1 and 2, 3 categories of the map when you could easily just go straight ahead and start engaging the enemy right away? I mean, it only makes sense to me that you'd only want to do that and engage your opponent right away. But then again, you could obviously do these flanking sort of things, but then still, yet again, there's kind of no point in going on the far side of the map. I mean, nobody's really going to be going that direction. I think it's kind of sad. I think they should really change the spawn points so that they're more inclusive of the entire map, if that makes sense. Okay, so that is just my opinion. I think Dragon Ridge would be a lot better of a map then. Otherwise, I think it's got a lot of potential right there. It looks really cool. There's a lot of cover. There's a lot of nice urban scenarios whilst mixed in with open fields. That's really nice. And yeah, it's the first Asian map. So there you go for anyone that's actually, I don't know, Asian or anything like that. Maybe this is appropriate for, I don't know. I'm just saying something, okay? Anyway, so the enemy team is winning at the moment with 3 kills, and they still got, let's see what they got on their team. They've got a Su-85 tank destroyer, also they've got a priest as well, and some other tanks, like looks like the Lee, just based on the icon. Yeah, that's a Lee. They've got the Martyr 2, and all those good tanks that can easily take on the Churchill. So the Churchill is in a little bit of a tough position at the moment, especially how he's turning his armor. Actually, well, maybe his armor's okay. It's always obviously a good thing to point your front armor at the enemy, but I think he's just trying to avoid anyone in the hill in front of him from shooting him. Now, this is one thing I really wanted to talk about, and I did a little bit of research on the Churchill just before I did this replay. I've got a Churchill of my own. I really love the tank. I think it's superb. Now, let's talk about the pros and cons. The Churchill, well, the Churchill, it's a very, very heavily armored tank. I'll get on to that in just a second. However, its one lack of thing, or anything, is its lack of firepower. It just simply has a weak gun. It can't take on heavy tanks, and so is more accustomed to taking on medium and lighter tanks. Reason is because it doesn't have that good penetration on it. However, it fires very rapidly. That's the nice thing about it. Fires very, very rapidly. Just doesn't have much of a punch behind it against heavy tanks. Also quite accurate. That's very good. The armor-wise, has a very decent armor. It's quite standard actually with heavy armor tanks. One thing that I really want to mention here is that the front armor is unbelievably hard to penetrate on the Churchill. Whilst normal tanks, and I actually took a comparison here. For example, save the KV. I mean, everyone hates trying to penetrate the KV because its armor is about, what, 88 millimeters thick on its turret, something like that. And its hull is around 70 millimeters, you know, around that range, right? And so that's quite thick. Now, let's take a look at the Churchill's armor. That's pretty much the same thing, except on the front plate, the very front of the tank, it's a whopping 176 millimeters. That is more than double the KV, the front armor. So, my god, nothing, in my opinion, could penetrate the the Churchill from the front. That is absolutely mental. If you have to take on the Churchill from the front, do not aim for its hull, aim for its turret, because the turret is the weaker portion of it. If you can aim for its turret, if you're facing it from the front, go for it. Otherwise, you won't have any luck whatsoever trying to penetrate it from the front. 176, double a KV. Oh my god, that's mind-boggling. So, that's a useful tip for you guys. Aim for the turret from the front when you're reversing a Churchill. Otherwise, go for the sides, the back. Those are respectively weak, especially the back. And there you guys go. So that is the Churchill. A lot of health points on it as well. You can see that has 700, and now he's just playing as a sort of passive defensive role. The enemies are coming to him rather than him going to them. It only makes sense. I mean, he's playing defensively. His team is down in terms of the kills, and I mean, he's only got a Lux on his team to work with, and the Lux is kind of being a bit of a knob end, to say the least, by just hiding over there in the corner. I guess he's only got 9%, but anyway. So he's pretty much by himself and he's playing defensively. So that's what I said in one of my previous episodes. I said that you should play defensively, let the enemy come to you, and some people agreed with that, some people didn't. The reason I said that is because a lot of times I see in games where people just rush out boldly into open, trying to think that there's some sort of Star Trek Voyager or Star Trek, I don't know, Enterprise voyaging into the unknown territory, going into going to places where no man has gone before. You know, it's steadfast, and they don't have any plan behind it, and they just die right away, and just it's kind of stupid. So the main point that I tried to make about it was play a little bit defensively, let the enemy come to you so you have the upper hand and you're able to see where they are before they can see you, right? So that is the point I'm making. That's, I guess, what the Churchill was doing, just wearing down his enemies. And there you go. They all were trying to come in for the Churchill, and he just laid waste to them, and that's it. They're simply gone. And all the enemy team has left is Marta 2. So I wouldn't appreciate the Churchill being defensive now, because considering that he's 593 health in the Marta 2, I know it's a Marta 2. It has a very powerful gun, but I mean, come on, he's got 593 health. He can easily get up to the Marta 2 and waste it. He could easily get it revealed and just pummel it away. Looks is already dead. So it's the Churchill versus the Marta 2, with the Churchill leading with 6 kills and the Martyr with only 1. Oh, see, this is what I mean. Look at that. He just took a direct hit, and now he's still got 475 health. Oh, Marta 2 has 100% health, so we gotta be a little bit careful here. But then again, Marta 2 only has, like, I don't know, not that much health, only a few hundred. As you guys can see, one shot taking down 56, then down 13, and now he's, oh, in a pursuit of the Marta 2, with the Marta 2 just running away, very, very scared. But for whatever reason, Hypnotic's still being a little bit complacent about the whole thing. He's got 3 minutes to chase down this Marta 2, and the Churchill is no tank to be used in the Grand National, not at all. It's not even got the capability of being a fast tank to be used at all in any sort of race. So this is going to be really a race of snails and slugs. And now the Churchill, Hypnotic, saying in the chat, he's calling him, taunting him, calling him the P word, calling him a woman's genitalia area, just trying to entice him to come back out. Face him! Don't run! And so the Churchill taking a little bit of shots here, while the Marta 2 obviously hidden away somewhere against the bushes or behind a house or something, because you couldn't actually see where it was shooting from. And oh, look at that! Look at that, he's running like hell. He's gonna go as far away as he can, try to lead the Churchill towards him, whilst he still has that vantage point. I disagree highly with where the Marta 2 is going. He's actually backing himself into a corner. He could have at least gone upwards towards the hill, you know, like a bit farther away, got some more cover up there. But instead, he's backing himself into a corner against the Churchill. What are you doing? What is the purpose behind it? What was the reasoning? What was the thinking? Maybe this is his first time playing the map, but now he can see the impending doom of houses being crushed in the distance, whilst the Marta 2, where is he? Oh, I got a text. Where is he? Look at this! He's somewhere in the bushes, like right in front of him, and the Churchill's just like, what the hell? How can I not see him? He's being ambushed, and there we go! It's 987 health points left, and oh my god! Churchill taking the last final shot out to the Marta 2, killing him before being killed. That was really tense. I mean, we knew the Churchill was going to win there, but that last few seconds with the Churchill down to 87 health, I mean, if you missed, my god, dear man, he would have been annihilated, right? Anyway, let's take a look at the personal achievements. Whoa, look at all that. Destroyed all these tanks, damaged all those tanks, detected those tanks. That is a lot. Shots, 72. This is what I mean about the Churchill. All those shots that it can come out with. Hits. Hit the target, 38. So out of the 72, you only got 38. Okay, that's kind of bad. Hits received, 8. Not that many. Battle heroes, he got Top Gun. Well done. And he got 2,400 XP. I imagine that would be like an ace tanker. No doubt. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay. Send in your replays to KrebsCOHO at hotmail.co.uk. You can find the email link in the description box below. But anyway, guys, hope you have a very, very nice day. Of course, you should always have a nice day. But anyway, I'll see you later. Bye.